My name is Soul, and I'm going to review every movie ever. And today's film is Fantastic Four. Growing up in the 2000s, superhero movies were there, but they definitely were not as big as the MCU by today's standards. I watched Spider-Man, some Batman, and that was about it. And I think it was that way for a lot of kids. A lot of movies like X-Men, Fantastic Four, Daredevil, a lot of these films weren't hitting the public zeitgeist like they are now. But after over a decade of Disney doing whatever it can to shut down the characters owned by Fox, now that they're in the MCU wheelhouse, they are now booming. Fantastic Four has been talked about more within the past year or two than I think the entire duration of the MCU. Keep in mind, I have not seen any Fantastic Four media before this. I do not read comic books because I'm stupid, I guess. But I thought it was about time that I watched Fantastic Four. My wife had seen the movies and she was very excited. We've done this before with the X-Men movies, and now I'm finally watching Fantastic Four. Intro out of the way. I always try to frame my reviews as if I'm talking to like the public perception, and I don't know what the public perception of this movie was. I thought like people just hated it, and then now that people are talking about Fantastic Four again, a lot of people are like, man, that first one or two, those are so good, and they're nostalgic for it. And in a lot of ways I can see that. This film is very much of the Spider-Man Tobey Maguire era. In a lot of ways it does feel like it was trying to be that, but with the Fantastic Four. We see four scientists go on a space expedition, and all of them come back with superpowers. Reed Richards, the straight man of the group, he is the stretchy guy. We got the Thing, the big brooding rock guy. We got Johnny Storm, who's the douchebag fire guy, and Sue Storm, who is like Invisible Girl, basically. In a lot of ways, I did find this movie very charming. I do have a thing for that 2000 CGI, where it's not super great yet. I think it's pretty good in this movie, comparatively, but, you know, it doesn't just look like green screens on green screens like the movies of today. It also introduced me to Doctor Doom, this character that's gonna have huge implications in future movies. I had no idea he was the main villain of this movie, so I got an origin story for Doctor Doom in here somehow. And I thought this was a fine introduction to all these characters. I think it passed the bar for comic book characters that I thought were interesting. There's not like a single member of this Fantastic Four that like I'm gonna like really get into. I'm not gonna buy merch for any of these characters. I think Chris Evans as Johnny Storm, which is a character if anyone I was familiar with, it was that, because I've seen the latest Deadpool movie where they have a bit of a Easter egg for that character. But I think he was kind of like the one character that annoyed me the most. There's some bad 2000s humor in this movie, and there are moments where they try to divide these four, like they're having infights. There's obviously a relationship on and off between Reed Richards and Sue Storm. Johnny Storm just being a douchebag and causing friction between everyone, and that weird, awkward relationship, which was all over the place, felt very uninspired. The relationship specifically, you never really buy it. You never feel like the chemistry between these two. They used to be in a relationship. Reed Richards is scientific, have no emotions kind of guy, so they fizzle out. She gets with Doctor Doom, and he's a fucking asshole. So that relationship kind of fizzles out. Like, you obviously know by the end of the movie that they've broken up because he's an evil dude now, but there's not like a lot of development leading up to that. And then she's just kind of with Reed Richards again, and he's learned the error of his ways and he's going to be present, but there's not like a moment where it's like, now I have changed. He just kind of says he's going to, and we gotta believe him. I really don't have a lot of complaints about the movie other than it's kind of boring. Again, it's a movie about four scientists who only one of them actually feels like a scientist, but they're kind of just arguing about their condition and what to do with it. There's not a whole lot of big scenes with them. They eventually get introduced to the public, but even that isn't really all that exciting. Doctor Doom's performance is kind of fun, but it's not a very exciting story leading into that. I like him slowly putting his costume together, but he has generic bad guy villain origin story. He just kills the people around him, leading to becoming more powerful. It's Green Goblin, but a lot less interesting. If I put it on a tier list of superhero movies, it's nowhere near the top, but it's by no means a bad movie. It is kind of a generic, cheesy superhero movies, and that used to be the norm. That used to be what superhero movies were. And if someone loved this movie, this was like their cheesy popcorn movie back in the day, I'm all for that. For someone who doesn't have any nostalgia for this movie, it was just kind of another movie. Gonna give Fantastic Four a 7 out of 10. Fun, cheesy action movie of its era, but I don't think I'm coming back to it anytime soon. I'll try to get around to watching Silver Surfer, make a video for that, but until next time, thank you for watching, and with that, I leave you.